Welcome to Chasing Frosty Radio, where we discuss the unidentified, the unexplainable, paranormal, conspiracies, and much more. Starring your hosts and co-hosts, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, Trish Lowe, and Jason Sledgehammer Ryan Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on FM 105.3 New Orleans, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio along with my co-host, Sean Kelly, Jason Ryan Petro, and Trisha Mo is here today on time.
I don't see her.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
No, she disappeared.
Oh my God! Now they made a liar out of me.
She was early too.
Darn it! Oh my God! Jeez, and she was early today. I don't know what to say about that. I'm kind of upset about it.
Way to boot her off, Jenny, before we even got started.
She heard that she was going to be introducing our guest, so she didn't.
Like, I'm out. I hope dipping out. You guys are on your own.
Yeah. When I'm trying to find our show right now, I don't see it online. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, well, I don't see it. I was going to share it. Sean, if you or somebody, can you flop me the link in can you put the link in the on? I just have last week's.
Oh wow.
I don't have this week's. So I'm looking on
Did
it
Joe
right now.
send it to you?
I don't see. I'm looking on YouTube. I don't see it on YouTube.
Oh, I don't even have.
Oh wow.
The actual show link or the StreamYard link?
The StreamYard link on YouTube. I wanted to post it for
I don't have that on.
Some people who want. Hello, Buck.
Well, you know what? I just texted Trish and she said my computer just shut down.
Okay, then she's not supposed to be doing it. Is that her? No. Wow.
Well, maybe she did get nervous for introduction.
Maybe she did. But I don't see our link, and that really messes me up because when I want to share it, I can't share it. Okay, well, here it is. But I think this is last. No, this is it. Okay, cool. All right, we have an interesting show tonight. But before we start, I just want to say, everybody, go on to bandvideo.com. UFOs. No, I'm trying to promote a show that I find that we all need to listen to, and it is InfoWars. So if you can, I want you to go on there and listen to Alex Jones. Okay, you want to kick me off right now? Go ahead, because he has some interesting topics, and I've become a follower of him. I follow him every day now, and I'm becoming addicted to it, and I can't stop. And I know that's not a good thing, but he has a lot of information, and I think you should check him out, because if you haven't already checked him out, it's band.video. Band.video. That's like InfoWars.
B-A-N-D.
Yes, and yes, and I
yes to which one? You said yes to both.
Bo, you can do one. He usually gets kicked off, so if you go to infowars.com, you'll get shot off there.
Hey Thomas, hi Buck, how are you?
Yeah, so anyways, I think we have a really good, interesting show. But before we get started, I want to talk about some things that have been happening in Western Pennsylvania, around my area. Pittsburgh goes out to Westmoreland County. A lot of people this weekend heard a huge boom sound that was heard and shook people's homes and even their chandeliers. So, awesome. Jason, did you hear about it?
Did I hear about it? I lived that.
Okay. Did you see it? Did you feel it?
Well, unfortunately, since there was cloud coverage, what they're saying is we could have seen it if it was clear skies. A lot of people would have seen it, but the meteor actually hit our atmosphere about a half an hour west of where I'm at. And I remember I was at the store and my wife was at home and our power all flickered and you just felt this rumble. It was actually pretty incredible. Everybody thought like earthquake or transformers blew up somewhere or some crazy thing. And then, within an hour or so, we're finding out a meteor literally hit our atmosphere at, what was they saying, Sean? Like 43,000 miles an hour or something crazy.
Miles per hour.
And they said it had a density of a couple ton. It was about the size of a yardstick, like,
wow.
3 foot by 3 foot or something like that. It's just incredible.
And the explosion was like 30 tons of TNT.
Well, could
Yeah.
you imagine if that would have hit?
Oh,
Oh,
God, dude. We
yes.
wouldn't be here.
Well, I was predicting this a while ago, and I was talking to my family about it, my sons. I said, I believe it's going to happen. One's going to hit us. And I still think a big one's going to hit us in the next 6 months. And this one was weird because I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, but I was in the tub, okay? And I have a skylight. And all of a sudden I looked up at the sky and I go, wow, something's going on, really. Something. And I told my mom when I got out, I said, something's going on, something's going to happen. And it happened. And
Wow.
I just felt like I heard like a weird, like a noise, like something wasn't right in the atmosphere. And nothing here. I think our chandelier, I have a Christmas, little Christmas tree in my kitchen. And the balls were moving.
Wow.
And there was no, I said, something happened. And that was it. I went, wow, this is crazy. It actually happened.
You know,
So
the best part is it was New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Of all
come in
days.
with a bang.
It's going to
Again,
happen
It
again.
just came rolling in hot.
It's going to happen again. And we had a really good shot if it happened yesterday. And I still feel that there's that real big one. And I think, why would NASA do this? Why would they be trying to blow up a asteroid all of a sudden? Okay.
Right.
So there is something big is coming. And
Yes.
I just,
Did
you
you
know,
see the-
I
did you
wanted
see
to
the
hit
movie
one
on
place.
Netflix? Don't look up on Netflix. That come out around the same time too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you
know
go. Watch
what?
that.
You know what? That is totally, all you have to do is put COVID instead of the asteroid. And that one scene when Leonardo DiCaprio was talking to the news people and they were like real giddy and goofy.
Yeah.
That is what's going on right now in the media with all these Robert Malone and Peter McCullough, all this stuff that's going on with COVID. And I think if you just put COVID in there, rewatch the movie, and you would be surprised that you can pull some of the stuff that's on there, take it right off of the websites that are not banned. I mean, there's a lot of them out there.
Right.
Rumble, like I said, Alex Jones, there's Wendy Bell. There's so many. There's Joe Rogan. There's so many. And we just got to open our eyes and listen to it because something's going to give, guys. So I'm sorry, something's going to give. And with these alien things too that we saw on the news about the theologians that were hired by NASA. How will the human race feel about there being aliens out there? And
why would they even do that? I mean, to waste money or what?
Because they
bullshit.
probably think we're
They have
so
much of it, Sean.
messed up in the head right now that we probably wouldn't know. I personally will welcome it as long as they're not ugly. Like,
How
the
great would that
aliens.
be this year if
That's
like we
right,
almost just got
Kathy.
crushed by a meteor and then like UFOs land in Jenny's backyard and take her away, so then me and Sean we have to do this show by ourselves.
Well, it probably will happen because I've been at the point right now that my mind is preoccupied with what everything else is going on.
So you want to hear something
ghosts and
crazy real
stuff.
quick? So
What?
going back to the meteor just for a second, I was doing a little bit of research, like how big would meteors or asteroids have to be to like destroy certain amounts of, the Earth. And it came up back with an asteroid the size of an apartment hits Earth would flatten an entire city. And an asteroid the size of a 20-story building hits Earth, it would flatten a whole country. And they're saying if an asteroid about 60 miles in diameter hit the planet, we're done. Everybody.
Well, look what happened with the dinosaurs. Come on.
I know. Bring
Wow.
it. It's all.
Now, was
It's
that
going to
a meteor?
happen. Well, you
Was
guys,
that a meteor or a comet? What was that killed all them dinosaurs?
was a-
Asteroid.
it was an asteroid,
Asteroid.
Yeah.
I think.
So, me and Jason, real quick, we were talking about this before the show, and we want to know why the government couldn't warn us about it.
Because they don't want to warn us about it. That's why you have to watch that movie on Netflix.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
that's
you
not
have to
going to
watch
tell you
that
that there's a
movie.
comet coming
What's
to
up
the
in the
Earth.
sky, whatever it is. Because they don't want to believe that something like that could happen. They wouldn't listen to any of the scientists. That one guy, Leonardo DiCaprio, was a scientist, and they weren't listening to him. Or the Jennifer Gardner's character, she was a scientist too, and they won't listen They don't want to hear what the scientists want to say. It's their way or the highway. That's the way the government is. That's why if you ever watch the X-Files, don't trust the government. You don't trust the government. You don't trust them. I'm sorry.
Believe
And
nothing you hear and only half of what you see.
you don't. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're
Nope.
not.
I
All
wonder
they care
though, what
about
if-
is themselves.
What if they would have said, on New Year's Day, like, "Hey, everybody, there's a meteor coming to Earth. It looks like it's gonna hit Washington County." Like, imagine the hysteria in Washington County.
Because they don't want to scare anybody. But did you ever watch the War of the Wars with
War of the Worlds,
with Tom Cruise? Or there's a couple different shows right now. They're really lousy. That's why I don't even remember their names. But they're talking about what would happen if there was an alien invasion. What would you do?
What if the meteor was actually a UFO spaceship?
Well,
that
yeah.
couldn't
What
make
if it was the mothership?
Ooh.
That's possible.
Okay, we're talking about chemtrails. Okay, I wish I should have sent. I have a ton of chemtrail pictures I took today. I'm gonna see if I can pull them up in the
Yeah,
chat.
she said the crapio.
The crapio.
Jeez.
Well,
Here you
he's
go.
not that bad. There's a lot of jackasses out there, but he's okay. I'm gonna put a couple of these shots that I got today on in the what do you call it? Select more photos. Chemtrails that happened today.
Welcome
that I
back,
took
Trish.
pictures of, and there's like tons of them.
You were on time today.
I
and then got
spoke
booted
too
off.
soon.
Yeah, you were. That's not fair.
Now is 4 around.
Yeah, I was all excited. I was like, "Come on, Trish, you're gonna do it." But we don't want.
Spoke too
Yeah.
soon.
Where is he there? Is 4 there? Your cat.
Oh no, he is. I don't know where he is. He's probably sleeping. He does that a lot. Yeah.
Now I'm going to see if I can show you these. These are just taken today, and I'm not the only one who's seen these
Yeah,
chemtrails,
those are
guys.
from a jet.
They're
That's-
all
that's
over the
what
place.
today.
Not
Oh, they've
even-
been in,
Jet's fine.
oh man, they've been in Kansas for.
they're everywhere. I mean, I've never seen
I saw
so
two
many.
of them today cross paths, and guess what was at the end of it? Jets.
I'm trying to tell you, why is there so many of them lately?
Yeah,
People
why, Jen?
traveling.
That's why I want to know if anybody out there wants to tell us why there's so many, because it's just, I'm not the only one who posted this. They're all over the country, all over Canada, all over different locations. It's just not here. So what's going on out there? Does
Travelers.
anybody have a suggestion they want to share with me right now? Because I really want to know what's going on. And I'm going to see if I can pull some of these. Oops, wrong
Well,
one.
while you're trying to pull them up, I'm going to share this with you. We were on an investigation down in Charleroi a long time ago, and it was a clear sky with a full moon, and there was the shape of a cross. No lie, it was just the shape of a cross right there in front of the house when we were doing this
Oh,
investigation.
Maybe they were
Yeah.
trying to tell you to stay away.
Ah,
It might be.
could be.
But there was like so many of them too. It was just giving me the heebie-jeebies. Let me see if I could. There's one right here. I think I've had so much trouble trying to pull these
Who
babies up.
keeps rustling around? I keep hearing all this scratchy.
I don't know. Somebody's mics.
I think
Not
it's
me,
Pat.
man. I'm good.
Every time you move.
Don't move. Who's
Oh,
moving?
there it was just you. I just saw it.
What?
It's your.
My
I watched it
rocking
as you
chair.
moved. It was a.
No, that's not me.
Yes,
I
it
just
was.
watched it. I watched you move and heard the noise at the same
And then
time.
he all bits because I don't move. I'm like, and then I look like I'm sleeping if I don't move.
Sleep with your eyes open.
I can't even respond to that.
So, Sean, I have to ask you,
Yes.
how excited are you that the Eaton Park Breakfast Buffet is
Oh,
open again?
dude, man, I am so excited. It was so nice. That was so nice. In fact, we were enjoying the buffet before the bomb hit. You know what I mean? And, oh my God.
That
it
could have
was
been
so-
your last buffet if that
Dude, I
meteor
had
would
like
have hit.
8-9 pieces of sausage,
Oh my.
at least 2 pounds of eggs. Oh my God. I was
Well,
happy
my
as
only
heck.
advice for you is if you want to see 32 years in the business, you might want to avoid buffet abuse.
Nah. It's been over
Nah,
a year.
nah.
It's been over a year. And I wanted my buffet. I called every Eaton Park up, and there's only one.
Holy
two.
smokes. Which
One
one
on
did you
There's
go
one
to?
in Pittsburgh's closing down after being open for 30 years.
Which one did you go to, Sean?
We went to the one at Robinson, and the
Okay,
other one
I've
was
been
out
there.
on 51, next to the KFC.
Yeah, down there on 51 Streets Run.
Yeah, but we went to the Robinson one.
I remember the good old days tearing up a buffet
Well, I'm
at 2
having a hard
o'clock in the
time doing
morning.
this, so we're just going to go ahead and if somebody else has want to.
So Trish, talking about buffets, do they have any good ones out in Kansas?
I do not really usually eat at buffets. I don't know. It's
They are fantastic.
They are the best. You go ghost hunting with us, Trish. You will go to a buffet.
Pap, if you don't fix that mic on your shirt, I'm going to reach through the screen and choke you out with it.
What do you want me to do?
I keep you.
Okay, we'll just go on with the show because we don't want to get Sean mad. He leaves in a.
I'm not going to be mad. I just want to know. Will
Pap,
this help out? Will that help?
Yeah, because you can see the mic is on that side, so it's rubbing on your shirt every time you
fighting,
move.
guys. We're going to start singing. Yabba dabba
Oh,
dabba
God,
dabba goes the
don't do
monkey
that.
to the chimp. Yabba dabba dabba. The monkey to the chimp. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go on moving. We're going to bring our guests on because it's getting late. We're already into the half hour. We have to leave because I have to take a nap again. You know how that goes, guys.
Take a nap. It's bedtime. It ain't nap time.
I know. Is it? Well, you never know. I get up and I go back to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, get on TikTok.
Witching
I'm
hour,
addicted to it.
Do some investigating at 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you should see some of the weird stuff I've seen lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to introduce this guest. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. But is there anybody who wants to introduce our guest?
Trish Mo, you're up.
Trish Mo.
Yes. So we will be having Flood from XV Planis come on. He has him and his crew of paranormal investigators. I had the opportunity to join them a few weeks ago. That's where we met at the Sally House in Atchison. And he has some past, their podcast recently explored the Brown Mountain Lights. They're in the southern area. So, they have the Mothman. I know he's got some future series coming up on possessions. So that should be interesting. Great group of investigators. So Flood from XV Planis, sorry.
Hello, everyone, and I'll let you get away with that this time. Justice.
All right, Flood. Welcome.
And welcome
Hello,
to Jason
Flood.
Prophecy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you all so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm glad you can make it. Well, tell us how'd you get involved with all this, and tell us about your series too, and your investigation with Trish.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess I kind of fell into this slowly over the course of several years. I always had an interest in it, and it wasn't until the world imploded 2 years ago that we all had a lot more free time on our hands and had to find some more creative ways to entertain ourselves and educate ourselves. So I started hanging out with some of the local ghost groups here in the Triangle area. So I'm in North Carolina near Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. And by proxy of that, I ended up getting connected with the Reen Institute, which used to be Duke's former parapsychology department. So I ended up getting involved with them and finding out about some more practical and down-to-earth methods for investigating and exploring. And from there, it just kind of took off. And the show ended up kind of becoming a little bit more of a journal entry, a way for me to just kind of keep track of the journey as we keep moving forward and share our experiences.
Cool.
Now, I know you were explaining to me, kind of explain to me what the name of your podcast means. What's the meaning behind it?
Yeah, I was trying to pronounce that.
XV Planis in butchered Latin would roughly translate to of 5 planes. So
okay.
All right.
higher tiers of existence.
I like it.
And going back to your last question there about the visit that Trish came and joined us with, that place is absolutely bananas, and I cannot wait to go back there again. We were there for roughly 48 hours. I'm still combing through over 120 hours of footage. It's
oh my.
Yeah, we had.
I feel your pain because I have like 10 cameras, and apparently I'm the only one that likes to sit there and watch them all. So I feel your pain watching all that footage.
You're not alone. It's how I pretty much spend my every day off after work.
But here's the question. Here's the question, though, Flood.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give other people your video in order to look at it?
Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process of setting up kind of a group hub of all the video, all the audio, and all the stills that we get, and we do really want to focus on it being a little bit more of a community-oriented paranormal investigation group. That's something that I've found is a lot of people tend to get a little bit cliquey. It's kind of hard to get in with people. We want to be all-inclusive, and the more eyes, the more minds into it, the better,
Yeah, but there'd be also a lot of confusion, because you're going to have one person say, "Oh, wow, I heard this on that EVP," and he plays it for another person, and that other person is not going to see it, hear it, and then there's going to be some bickering. You know what I mean? You seriously need to get. Now, this is from my experience, to get a good, solid foundation of people who would want to do this, and that they can, respect what other people say instead of people duking it out. Because I've ran into this for a long time on my group.
I think there's pros and cons to both, because a lot of things, even when as Flood and I go over certain things while I was even at the Sally House or around each other, we interpret things differently. So I think by collaborating with numerous people, who have different skill sets, different gifts, things like that, you kind of get to see a bigger picture, and things that's what I love about it. But as far as meeting people from all over the country, all over the world, is because you do get those different perspectives, things that might be that missing puzzle piece that you're looking for something in your research, or maybe you've listened to those things so many times in your investigation that you do need other perspectives outside of your own group even. So,
and I agree with that, Trish, and I agree, but in my experience, what happens is that there's a lot of people that get a lot of egos. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
So when you get a lot of people with egos, and like I said, they're listening to this, they hear this, and another person who has a real bad ego, right? It's just be careful.
That's why you need like your group of people, like somebody that might have a better ear for listening to EVPs, to review the EVPs, somebody that has a better eye for the video footage, have this person review this stuff. I think if you break it up like that, and then when you find your certain pieces of evidence or think you caught something, put that on a separate file. Then when you get together with everybody, present it, talk about it, and see what you come up with, to see if you think it's real or if it might have been some dust or something, and then post it up. I think it's what, in my opinion, that's the way it needs to be broken down. Like, one person's this is your specialty, you're an audio guy, you have a good ear for it, you know how to use your equipment, so you review that, this person review video. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, we're not trying to mock you or tell you that you're doing it wrong, Flood. We're just giving you suggestions, that's all.
Oh yeah, no, and everybody's got their own way of doing it. Like for me personally, when it comes to actual investigations, yeah, those are the people that I hand pick, and that I know that we're going to work well together, and we're going to have a well-balanced team attitude to it. But when it comes to sharing the data that I end up picking up, that's a whole different ball game. And I'm open to interpretation and love to hear other people's opinions on what they think they might have heard or seen in the footage or the audio that we got. I'm pretty confident with my own opinions, but I'm not so full of myself that I'm not willing to listen to someone else's,
Right.
Sean, there's a question for you in the comments.
How can anyone have an ego in a field where everything is speculation and hypnosis, phases, whatever? Dude, Dover, listen here.
Jeez, here we go.
Poor guy.
Oh, Pep. Oh my God.
Hey, thank
Nice.
God I took my medication before today.
Oh,
Right.
geez.
So
But,
I know you had the Brown Mountain lights. And that was your most recent investigation prior. Was that your most recent one prior to coming to Kansas?
That was the most recent large scale one we do a lot of smaller investigations here in the triangle, like through the Marine Institute, or people will just reach out to us and say like, hey, I think my place is creepy, can you come check it out? Sure, we have nothing going on. But the Brown Mountain Lights, that was an experience. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah,
where's that located?
I never heard of that.
I want to tell us more about the Brown Mountain Lights. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, sure. So Asheville, North Carolina, which is kind of in the northern westmost part of North Carolina. About an hour and a half north of there, you start getting into Linville Gorge and Brown Mountain area, which is often referred to as the Grand Canyon of the East. And that's a reasonable way to put it. It is massive and it is beautiful, but it's also lush and green as far as you can see. And the Brown Mountain Lights have been documented. I think at this point we're almost at 100 years that they have been officially documented, not only by journalism authors, but also by the USGS, who ended up getting sent out there, I want to say in 1917.
What is that? What is that?
The U.S. Geological Society.
Okay.
So the government actually sent people out there to figure out what these things were. And sometimes they get tossed into the category of UFOs or UAPs. Sometimes they get tossed into the category of ghost lights or phantoms. I witnessed them firsthand, and I don't agree with either side of that. This is something I've never seen or experienced before, but it was beautiful and intense.
What do you think it was there, Flood? What's your idea?
Let me make 5 or 6 more trips up there, and then I might be able to tell you something. I just don't know.
Did you happen to get any photos? I'm curious.
I got, as paranormal investigations do, I got 2 photos, and they're completely distorted by the night vision. It's just they didn't turn out. Yeah, but we also, the first night that we were up there, we were met with fog so thick that you couldn't see more than 30 feet in front of you with your flashlight. So for us to be up on that cliff with those lights being as bright as they were, essentially 3/4 of a mile away and half a mile down, those must have been burning bright, and they were moving incredibly fast. And we didn't actually understand. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say with the fog, that's interesting you say that, because there have been reports, many accounts throughout history of especially when there's like UFO type activity or lights or things like that, there's always this fog presence. Do you think from your accounts that also might have something to do with it, or
the electric fog, which is a phenomenon I'm really fond of? I think that was either just a toss up of whether I'll get into that later. It was either a toss-up of nature, or this was the classic paranormal textbook of, you can witness it, but you're not going to get to take any evidence home.
Yeah.
We all know that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But after after watching these things, they move intelligently. We ended up signaling them with a industrial grade laser pointer, and they started to react to us, moving spaces of almost half a mile in the span of a few seconds, and then swirling back and forth following the patterns we were doing.
Are you thinking this is some kind of an ET, maybe? If they're intelligent, I mean, it sounds like they're more of an extraterrestrial than a ghost or anything like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between. I mean, as of late, there's been a lot of talk and theory about these hypothetical plasma type of entities that could exist all around us. We're just not consciousness of them.
You mean like an elemental sort of thing?
Actually, I think that would probably be.
And elementals can be highly, interactive and intelligent.
That's what I mean.
I would say that's probably the best choice out of everything that we brought up so far. Yeah.
And did they ever communicate like how long they've been there? I mean, you said they were. It could have been.
Well, yeah. So the first documented cases of it that were reported, I want to say, started in 1913 or 1917. USGS came out in the early 1920s, but before that, Native American tribes from the area were reporting these lights for over 100 years before that.
Okay.
Yeah, and they referred to them as the souls of fallen braves who died in battle in the gorge,
That sounds like that was.
which
Yeah.
is interesting. But
So let's just
yeah.
say that they are let's say extraterrestrial and they're
Mm.
UFOs. Have you heard through the grapevine down there in North Carolina that of underground alien bases?
Yeah. Actually, I've been trying to harass the guys from Hilliard to give me that the GPS coordinates that they got that were right there on Brown Mountain, because I really want to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I definitely lean a little bit further away from UFOs and UAPs, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think elementals is probably a better way to describe it. We did end up communicating with them through an Estes session too, which was really fascinating. And I shared most of the audio from that on our most recent episode. You can go back and listen to it. I will tell you right now that I let it run until the last few minutes when the lights really showed up, and it's just pretty much 15 minutes of 5 people on a mountain going, "Oh my God, holy, did you see that?" But what's so odd is, like, when we all go back and we talk about it now, everybody just kind of discusses it like it was a passive moment. It's like, "Oh yeah, we saw the lights. That was really cool." But we go back and we listen to the evidence of us actually seeing it with our own eyes. It blew our minds, and I think it short-circuited all of our brains a little bit that night.
Do they appear every night or only on certain nights?
It's kind of random, but the best time to see them is usually between September and November. That seems to be the frequency when they come out the most. But you can see them every year if you're just, lucky
And
enough.
I'm wondering if it's because, this time of year the veil is the thinnest, because in the Midwest, there's been, I've talked to quite a few people actually, especially in Missouri, southern Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, that are of older generations, that these things happened to, 70, 80 years ago. And it was they always remembered it during harvest season. So, which would be, September through November, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they said. They said it was just it wasn't like your typical UFO experiences. It was these lights, and they would follow them. They would, kids would talk about it. Of course, it wasn't something, obviously, that the adults talked about back then. I'm sure, it wasn't something but all the kids that were working in the field, there have been so many people in this area tell me that is something they experience, and which is interesting because.
So we got a couple good questions here in the comments section. There's 3 of them I'd like to present. Dover asked, could these lights, could it be a piezoelectric effect from the geological makeup, of the area? Is that possible?
If Dover, had they stayed stationary or moved kind of aimlessly or in one direction, I might have admittedly passed it off as that. But the second we started interacting them with the laser pointer, we got an unbelievable light show. I mean, we had one shoot 50 feet up into the air, drop back down, and then break off into 5 other ones that went off in different directions.
That's all.
Cool.
All different colors, all different speeds. If it was still, though, definitely it could have been passed for that. And
the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 was asking what time of night did they show up, and they were also asking the color, which I think you just answered, multiple colors. But is there a specific so you guys were out there, would you say it's like witching hour, like 3 a.m. they showed up, or is it like 1 o'clock, or
no, so surprisingly, they typically show up anywhere between 9 p.m. to about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay.
And anytime that they do come out, they can pop up randomly anytime during that time frame, and they usually only stay out for about 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
And yes, the colors, they started as white, but then we ended up getting a red, a violet, a blue, and a very bright orange. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm wondering, if it is elementals and another entity, what I wonder if it's kind of like people and they have different, like we have auras that are different colors. I'm wondering if it's a different, it's similar to that. That would be interesting too.
That'd be real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Trish, keep talking to me about that because I'm going to add that into our repertoire for when we go back there this upcoming fall. Which, hey, guys, if you want to come on up. I'm planning
Road
this
trip.
like
Road
three or four different expeditions over the course of that 3-month period. So,
Like when
door is open. You're more than welcome to join.
October. What? So I can get vacation to come down. I want to check that out.
Yeah, September through November, I'll be doing at least 3 or 4, probably 3 to 4 day trips each.
That's good. Cool. You got me. And while I'm waiting to go on this, I'll do some gold prospecting down there. I go there.
Oh,
all the
there you
time.
go.
Yes.
Might as well.
And it's interesting that we're all kind of live in or near a triangle of sorts, obviously. So there's probably a lot of things to explore in your area.
Oh, there's tons. Like, look, if you guys ever decided, if any of you decide to come either as a group or individually, just reach out to me. I will take you to some of the craziest spots in this state. I mean, I have lived in a lot of weird states, friends. I mean, I grew up in New Orleans, so that's the kicker right there, right? This is the weirdest place I have ever lived. Like, hands down.
Okay, we have a question from Kathy, and it's could they be going back and forth between dimensions, do you think?
That's definitely in my wheelhouse of theoretical possibilities. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
That's cool. Because I saw a show. I was down Russ's house, and there's this place out in Arizona or something where a whole tribe of people, just fell off the face of the earth. Then he did an experiment where from one point to another point, maybe it's like 50 feet, 50 feet. And they actually lost 6 seconds
Oh, wow.
from point to point. Yes.
They all did.
Do you happen to remember the name of that guy? Because I just read that a few weeks ago, and I cannot
Dude.
remember right now.
He's a dude. He's the author of The Missing 411.
Oh, David.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they lost
didn't hear
6
that
seconds. Yeah. It's
And that's
pretty-
the thing, we've been talking about vortexes and stuff a lot. I'm wondering if it is these certain areas that interdimensional beings are, where it's easier for them it's like a highway, it's easier for them to come through, and in places like Atchison and in North Carolina.
That's a good
I
thought.
mean, you figure, in the spirit world with the paranormal, what do we run into? We run into portals.
right.
That spirits from anywhere, anytime can just channel through. So why couldn't there be, dimensions for, the lights and, whatever they might be?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Yeah,
that might be
absolutely.
a portal in itself.
Yeah.
Well,
This whole state is full. I mean, we got at least 5 or 6 of them that I can personally vouch for. This place is just chock full of weird. I can take you to a hill that you will roll up if you put your car into neutral.
Oh, we got one of those down here in
We got one.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We
Gravity
great.
Hill. Yeah,
That's right.
I went there me and my buddy on our motorcycles a couple years back, and I was like, we got to check this out. I heard about it, so we went. There's just like some back road with like hand painted signs. I'm like, well, this can't be real.
mhm.
So we stopped, shut our bikes off, and we went up the hill. It was the coolest thing.
It's called the
So,
same thing here.
that is
But like
really cool.
we're 2 of like 5 states that have a gravity hill. But that reminds me, Pennsylvania on the trip this year, Toad Road and the 7 Gates of Hell.
Yeah,
So I'll be
Seven
up in
Gates
your
of
neck of the
Hell.
woods.
Oh, right. Get a hold of us when you come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just tell us when
amazing.
you
I would
be
love
up
to meet
there.
more of the
Party.
locals.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on Mothman?
Oh man. Oh, how much time you got? 'Cause, I mean, we did a
we have
4-part
another
series
hour.
on it, and I'm not done.
Well, we have something like Mothman up here, but I consider him the Thunderbird.
Is there a specific name that they give it to it locally, or
We just call it
Mothman.
the Thunderbird. Yeah, the
Thunderbird, Mothman.
Mothman is the one, but I don't think it's the same thing though. This is more like a bird. It's more like sort of like on Jeepers Creepers, that kind of thing, with the big wings and the red eyes, and
Nice.
it's scary as hell. And if I saw it again, I'd probably cry.
See, everybody else wants to run from it, but I just want to give Mothman a hug.
Oh no.
Have you guys ever read the book?
The which one?
Nah.
There's so many of them.
The original Mothman Prophecies by John Keel.
I watched the
No.
movie, but I didn't watch
I think I
the.
read that book, maybe.
Okay, so the movie covers maybe 12 to 15% of what actually happened there.
We had the author on, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Yes,
had the
did.
author on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. He
Wow,
was
really?
pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been a while ago. I think he died quite a few years ago.
Oh,
No. He
Or are you
wasn't
thinking
the
of Gray
author.
Barker, the other one?
Gray Bark. Well, who was that? Sean, I can't remember. Jason, were you on the show when we did the Mothman Prophecy? He
don't
owns the
think so.
museum.
He owned the
I think it was
museum.
right before I
Didn't
did
he
it.
run the museum down there?
Yeah.
That's the dude we had.
There's so many.
Okay,
There's so
yeah.
many of them.
I think his name is Dave, owner of the Mothman Museum. That guy's just a sweetheart. We love him.
Yeah, we did. He was on the show.
But my opinion on the Mothman, and here's the thing, I really do, and you know what? Actually, might have to bleep this out. I'll send you guys a copy of the audiobook. It's great.
Oh, cool.
But
Thank you.
it was incredibly intense, and it covers the entire rainbow of paranormal weirdities. You had UFOs, you had cryptids, you had the Men in Black, you had poltergeist activity.
They were all in that. Yeah.
You had doppelgangers going on. All of this stuff just happening. Nice. All of this stuff just happening constantly, and it snowballed into this great event, which was the collapsing of the Silver Bridge. And then after that, over the course of 6 to 9 months, the activity slowly started to fade off. But if you read the book, there are two things that I found really fascinating about it. One is when Indrid Cold introduced himself to Woodrow Derenberger, and he said, "My name is Cold, and I am a searcher." To what? Did you let something slip out of your intergalactic zoo? Is that what's going on here? Because part of me does think that Indrid Cold and the other...
I think they're time travelers.
I think they were looking for what they let out. I think they messed up.
What do you mean? Do you think that he was like some kind of a scientific experiment?
I think that Indrid Cold, his family, and his partners, if you believe any of this at all, definitely have the ability to pop in and out of different types of realities and perhaps even time itself.
Sort of like the Matrix?
Less chaos magic and more multiple dimensions rather than simulation theory.
So how do they do that then?
Huh?
Like, how would they do that?
A lot of people don't believe that time actually exists in that construct. It's
Well,
human
if these
construct.
guys created it, if they created it or they let it out, meaning it was from their dimension, I don't know.
That's kind of my theory, and I think it might have been a mistake, which is why they showed up so quickly and frantically 2 days after the very first Mothman sighting, which was at the military base just outside of Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
But one of the things in the book that nobody ever really talks about that really stands out to me is everybody who talks about their interaction, they're witnessing the Mothman, they're filled with this horrible sense of dread and impending doom. Well, of course you are. You're seeing a 7-foot tall furry monster with no neck and red eyes with wings that doesn't even flap, and it just
Where's
zooms
Godzilla
off
when you
into
need
the
him?
sky. I'm pretty sure that's going to give anybody a panic attack, even if you've seen the Loch Ness Monster. But
John, I'm listening to this, but I'm also going into other podcasts that I listen to, and they talk about the hybrids, how they're doing experimental with human DNA. Could he possibly be like a hybrid of a human and a animal?
no, I don't think so. I really
so?
think it was something completely otherworldly and not of our plane of existence.
Do you think it's from a different world, another dimension, or a different outer dimensional, from a different galaxy or something like that? What do you think it's more of a dimensional creature.
We'll really branch out here. Yeah. For the most part, I personally consider the vast majority of cryptids to be potentially unwitting participants in a slip through reality. I don't think they mean to be here. I don't think they mean to show up, but I think that there are weak spots. And as we were saying, there are portals, vortexes, places where the veil is thin. We already know this, that we know incredibly little about our own world. So who knows what other worlds are laying on top of it, where those thin spots are. And there's a lot of possibilities there. But that's the fun part about this, is that we just don't know.
Be nice if we.
So we have a commenter who's asking if you could talk more about your experience at the Sally House. I guess they're really interested in it, which I am too myself, actually.
Yeah, sure. So I appreciate you asking about that, and I do really want to talk about it, but permit me to only share a few things here, because I am honestly, personally, still trying to process the whole trip, both emotionally and from a business standpoint. And I still have so many hours of footage and audio to go through.
Okay, well, what's the Sally House?
I do.
Go ahead. Can you just start?
I was just going to say, in relation to Mothman, actually, I just had this crazy epiphany like a day ago, actually. So, and I won't, there's, Flood was wearing, I think you were wearing a Mothman shirt that day, because
usually am.
I said something, when I was channeling, I was like, moth, thoth. I kept saying thoth, and I'm like, what does that have to do? And then, there were these letters in the basement, and I randomly wrote, made the word Malachi, spelled with a K, which actually means messenger. And then I had a dream the other day, like yesterday or the day before. And that's basically what Thoth was, is like a messenger of whatever, a higher realm, a higher being, another place, whatever. So I thought that was actually really interesting, coming from the Sally House. Like, so things are still coming through to me as well all the time.
It has not stopped since I left. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what are we at 2?
Thank you, Hidden Underbelly.
I think something came home with me. I think a few things came home with me.
I think
it's
like that's another place. It's almost a portal for, I don't know. It's like a train station or something. That's what I was saying when I was there. It's
almost like everything in the kitchen sink
is coming through there. It's crazy.
Yeah. But to go back to your question about like what the Sally House actually is.
Yeah, I'm looking online. I see it's just like another like house, like a Bel-Air house.
Super condensed back, super packaged history here. Built in 1886 by William C. Finney, and then was gifted to his son Charles C. Finney. And then from there it passed down the family pretty much until I want to say pretty close to when the Pickmans picked it up. And the Pickmans are the ones that made the house famous when they had their story told on that television show, Sightings, from the 90s. That's what made all of this famous. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that there is a little girl ghost named Sally there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there is a demon or a djinn there. I think that place has become a tulpa breeding ground.
Explain that, please.
Yes, please.
Because of the hype that went around everything that happened in the 90s with the Sally House and with the Pickmans, after they moved out, and shortly after they moved out, it ended up becoming just a rental property for paranormal investigators. And so now you were literally filing in group after group of people who is, I'm here to talk to Sally. I'm here to talk to the Finneys. None of them are there. Mm-hmm. Like whatever is there, it's not any of them. If there are any real human people there, I'm going to call it right now, and this is just my own personal opinion, that would be William and Agnes True, which were from the Finney family, but many years down the line, and they both died in the house, I want to say in the late 50s, early 60s. Those are the only certified and documented deaths on that house ever. However, the whole town, as Trish knows, is a conduit for weird stuff. Like, it's not just a Sally house. You throw a rock, you're going to hit a haunted house.
Yeah.
There's a haunted bed and breakfast right across from the Sally house.
Okay,
Road
so
trip coming up.
oh yeah, but what Trish, did you look at the lateral lines on that where that house is?
I meant to, so I don't know why I haven't yet. No, I have not yet, but I know it has to be on some sort of, I mean, you can feel it going into the town for that matter. It has a distinct biological effect on everyone that go,
Okay.
anyone I've crossed through there with my family. So it's an odd, place in general as far as that goes, because there's also railroad tracks that run through there. It's on a river. There are, there used to be a military base there, underground. Actually, they have underground caves there, and there's I believe there's a huge there's power grids and power plants there as well. So you have all of the ingredients for every paranormal, supernatural, situation possible, probably.
True.
Yeah.
Now, is there any like seriously sacred Indian burial grounds around that area?
Yep.
Yes, but and I am actually going to quote somebody who knows not only way more about that, but also way more than Sally House than all of us put together. There's this guy, Dr. or Professor Sean Daly, who used to work at the University of KC. I think he's somewhere else now, but he has done over like 100 investigations at that place. He ran parapsychology and paranormal study classes in his curriculum, and he brought his students out there to go check this stuff out. And that's something that a lot of people have asked him is like, is there a possibility that, it's because the damage to the Kwanzaa tribe? And he shoots it down immediately like that, because as far as they can tell, there were no legitimate burial grounds in that area. Okay. At least especially not in that part of town. On further west side, quite possibly, but as far as I can tell, not much has been buried on Native American ground, or if it was after they had left. That's something that I found really fascinating, is that by that point they weren't rushed off. People started to voluntarily leave because the white man was coming.
It's also part of the the Santa Fe Railroad, obviously the Oregon Trail. There's numerous battles even that have been fought near there or in the town itself back, during the Civil War and things like that. So, and then there's the big, the Catholic school there, Benedictine. So it's right up the hill from.
Holy crap.
So
man.
what Flood, I have a question, since you're an investigator and Sean and I are investigators and all that jazz.
Sure.
We've had some pretty intense investigations. Before we get into that, if you want to hear about that, what would you say if you had any real scary or just super intense, I'm out of here, whether it was residential or historical landmarks, if you had any of those kind of experiences or evidence that made you just be like, whoa?
No, I've never had the GTFO moment ever.
I'm still waiting for that too.
I have definitely had a lot of really intense moments, but what I've started to figure out about me is there are some elements to my consciousness that I am just now are starting to realize that are there, and so sometimes I get a little overfilled or overstimulated, and that'll cause me to check out for 15 minutes or so, let me go check my breath, walk around the block and come back, and then usually I can come back.
Investigations, that too.
Yeah, definitely.
So The first time I experienced it was at Edwards Road here in North Carolina, which is a spot that nobody else is going to know about, but it's intense. And it yelled at us. It flat out told us to get out now.
Oh, we got
now.
a road trip to North Carolina.
Yeah, we are. We're coming
Good
down.
place to stay, brother.
Well, we're coming down, brother.
Yeah.
The second time that happened was on our second night at Brown Mountain, because the first night we were interacting with the lights. The second night we were interacting with something else, and it definitely wasn't the lights. Something was trying to convince us to come off the mountain and come down into the gorge, and it sounded pretty sinister, so we decided not to.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
the Sally house, though, was the most I have had in one period of time. I mean, this place was on top of me. I'm getting chills just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
This place was on top of me since the moment that I walked in the door. There were moments that I was walking through the house and I was hit in the face with an overwhelming sense of sadness and emotion. Like I broke down into tears uncontrollably, which is very much unlike me. This thing tried to get in my head and started to play my bad relationship with my dad off of me.
Yeah.
It started calling his name through the Estes session. It kept poking at me, saying dirty things. And whenever I got done with the whole session, I stood up and I walked away from the table all woozy. I'm like, I feel like I just got in a fight with my dad. And it took 2 days for that to really register, you know?
I believe it. Now, my question, whenever you go in to an investigation, do you protect yourself before you go in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been learning a lot from other people who are way more skilled in this, that you need to find ways to protect yourself, but not to potentially lower the possibility for other energies to get in. Like for the longest time, I used to travel with my set of railroad spikes, and you got one in every corner on the compass. I got my salt in case I need it, like all of these things. But all of those things also block spirits out from being able to come in and interact with you. So you got to watch what you're bringing to the table. So leaning more into things like, you know, I got my little oil of a bromelain that's also filled with other goodies, and I'm not going to tell you guys about because it's a secret. You know, I keep my stones. I do keep a railroad spike with us traveling, but I never bring it into the locations that we're going to. I never do cleansing or smudging rituals in the houses themselves. I do them outside or in the car before we depart, and, you know, obviously before we get there. So yeah, I make a considerable amount of effort to protect myself, but like I said, it's this new part of my brain is opening up, and sometimes it just overfills.
Now, you said earlier, I think I heard you say something about you've had stuff follow you home. Like I've had that happen personally. I've had spirits, you know, follow home. Like, what's your experience with that? Like, what can you elaborate a little bit?
Okay, so for the last 2 weeks, I can't tell you how many times things have gotten moved around in my apartment. I am the only one here. Like, I live alone. And it seems to happen every time I start to review the footage and the audio.
Okay.
And it'll happen from right under my nose. Like in my actual recording studio in there, I'll set my coffee on the table next to me, and I'll go back over here, put on the headphones, and I'll do some work and work on 15 minutes. And I'll reach back, and it's just gone. Never shows back up until later that
Thank
afternoon.
God they like
in the
coffee.
kitchen.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
No, they know I like coffee, and they're trying to tick me off. Is what it is.
Well, that's why I won't go on an investigation with the
Oh,
boys,
come
because
on.
they piggyback on me and I take them home.
It would never happen. I would
It
never
happens
let that
every time.
No, so
Jenny, I'd never let that happen to you.
I
So
think
So
one of. Sorry, go ahead.
I just got to say, in regards to that, after the experience at the Sally house, and luckily Jill and Trish came and joined for a little bit, I am never going back to that place without at least one or two strong female presences. It reacts it reacts completely different.
So
It's a completely different reaction.
We've had
If
that
you
happen,
if you
Sean?
watch the
Yeah,
two
we have.
Estes sessions we did that first night, whenever we switch it over and I let Jill become the receiver, conversation completely turns into something else, and it was fascinating,
and
also horrifying.
there was one point
At
where
least you admit it.
I think Walker and I were upstairs, and he was standing by the stairs. I was over in one of the rooms, and it literally kept telling me to push him down the stairs. Push him. But
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm not going to push him down the
Did
stairs.
you
You know
do it?
what? That's happened to
I
me.
wouldn't
man.
like that one
I've-
bit.
No, that's happened. I've experienced that investigations. Yeah.
But I have that feeling all the time to people I see, like in the mall, push them down the steps.
Well, that's just your
escalator.
subconscious, That's
Yeah.
like
Push
that's
it
like when you're
down the
driving down the
escalator.
highway and you think about just driving over the cliff.
Oh,
You
Yes.
won't do it, but you thought
So
about
I'm
it.
a chef in
There's a
order to
term
pay
for
the
that. I
bills,
can't
so that's
remember
pretty much all day, every day for me.
I'm a meat cutter, so I'm right there with
Hey,
you.
I
You
feel
probably
I'm a
you.
wish
truck
those
driver,
were
so I
some
deal with
people you
idiots all
were
day.
on the table. Set 'em up.
One thing I did actually learn I have dealt with entities and stuff my entire life, as far as I guess kind of the medium part, but from the Sally house specifically, and that house completely feeding off of our fears and our weaknesses and things like that. I think no matter what you do, as far as what kind of protection, whether you have something religious that you do, something crystals, sage, whatever, I don't think any of that is, I mean, of course, all of that helps, obviously, but as far as my experiences, even with demonic entities and things like that, I think that's what you have to do. It causes you to kind of do your shadow work and confront, those own fears. So if you go in having all of these negative emotions, fear and anxiety and things like that, even things in regards to your personal life, I think entities anywhere can absolutely feed off of that.
No, 100%.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
this
We
is
need
exactly
to,
why, like,
Oh, yeah.
even because of all that, I am still going back. Now, I want to share a little moment of creepy with you that actually happened simultaneously with us all. Trish, right when you were talking about, using the oils or crystals or things like that, my whole bag of crystals, black tourmaline, and hematite just fell off of the shelf over there.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
That's-
Sean,
And
I
Yeah,
think
it
you need
knows,
to get
it
flooded
knows
with
we're
Blair
talking
House.
about it.
I didn't even know if
Jeez.
you all could hear me because everybody's screen froze. So
Oh.
Oh, why
Sean,
is
what do you
that?
think?
Why does that happen to
What
you,
do I
Trish?
No, I think
It's
we
always-
need to get flood to the Blair
it's
House.
always the witch.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Damn it.
seriously.
I'll
hey,
go
Flood,
anywhere. Like, no place scares me.
Honest to
Oh,
God,
man.
Bel Air House, you got to go.
You gotta check it out.
They
It's
might
worth
worth
get
it.
attacked by a duck creature, though.
But
Oh,
what
Jesus.
happened?
You've never
was
seen me deal with Canadian geese.
All right, Jason's like 6'4", 6'5", weighs over 300, right?
No, he doesn't.
And
Oh,
that
geez.
bastard fell on top of me because a duck
Well,
sneaked
hold
up
on.
on him.
Let's back this up real quick.
Creature.
Ducks are
All right,
ducks
Flood. So
with his
I'll
little
sum
feet.
I'll
They're
sum up this
savages.
investigation as quickly as possible. So Blair House is right in Ohio, across the PA Ohio border in Blair, the little town.
High boots.
We went there twice. Okay, the first time we went wasn't a whole lot of activity. We talked to the owners and they're like, it's hit and miss. Usually like one weekend it'll be real active and then the next weekend not much because spirits need energy, right? So it makes sense. So the first time we were there, not a whole lot. It was cool. We had some just feelings and stuff like that. The second time we went is when stuff got chaos and it just sent it over the top. We had and this is all documented. We have proof and all the evidence up on Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz. But we had what was the spirit's name, Sean, that blew the candle out?
Daffy.
Was it Edwin?
Edwin.
Yeah, there's a spirit there by the name of Edwin who blew out a candle on command, and we had candles next to each other, and he blew one specific one out when one of our investigators asked. Myself and another investigator were in the basement, and we're doing an EVP session, and on the other side of the wall, and this is on my surveillance camera, I guess a previous paranormal group left a flashlight there. We were talking about something. All of a sudden, you hear it click and turn on just by itself. You could hear the click in the audio. This light turns on. We also got orbs that were up in the attic. Looked like they were heading to go down the steps to a door that was locked in the one bedroom that a couple guys were staying in. And the door handle is actually jiggling, like something was trying to come through.
We
That's
got
all.
that on video.
Yeah, we got all that on video. And then now what Sean was talking about. So Sean and I, it's late at night, and it was like, hey, let's go down in the basement, because that's where I think one of the portals is at. There's like 11 in this house. And so we're sitting there and we're just getting started. It's pitch black. I'm running a full spectrum camera. There's surveillance cameras and all that stuff. And we start doing our session, and I hear this like shuffle on the floor real quick. And I was like, Sean, did you hear that? And he's
With
like,
his web feet. Oh,
he's like, did I hear what? And then it's giving me the chills right now. Something from the back room behind us ran up on me. Like, you heard it run, like if it was really short, and it was, as Jenny wants to say, like web feet, whatever. We don't know what it was, but it ran up. It was super loud on camera. Like, you hear the audio. I jumped out of my chair in the pitch black, and I landed on my Sean's lap.
I wish you had the picture. Who did that picture? Was it Augie?
No, that was Roy.
No, Roy.
So we found Roy drew this picture, right? Roy's another investigator. And he drew this picture of a creature that he saw during this investigation that weekend. And when we went to go leave on that Sunday, packing everything up, we were in the basement, and somebody who knows, we don't know when, there's a table down there, drew a very, very similar creature on the table and marker. So Roy didn't see it. None of us saw it till that Sunday. So Roy drew something on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, from what he saw. Sunday, when we went to leave and was cleaning up everything, we seen something very identical that somebody else drew, on this table. So it's like, we're wondering if that was a creature, what it was, some interdimensional thing that ran up on me. Scared the bejesus out of me. Sean had to pay the price. I'm crushing him into teeth. Luckily, the chairs didn't break.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But it was really cool, and that weekend was awesome. So when you come up to PA, right, like I said, it's right over across the border in Ohio.
We'll take you there. We'll take you there.
Book like a weekend.
Perfect. I was actually just going to ask where that is, because
but oh no, we lost him.
Oh, great. We lost him now. That was the web feet guy.
He
The duck.
wasn't supposed to know where it's at.
He wasn't supposed to know about the duckman. I picture a little midget. Okay, a little creature. He doesn't have legs, but just has flappy feet. Like that.
No.
Well, Jenny, why don't you come to the Blair house?
Yeah, come on, Jen.
Witness it yourself.
That is.
Hey, welcome back, Flood.
Welcome
You got
back,
flooded
Flood.
out
yeah,
of
sorry
here.
about that. I don't know what happened.
It's the duck.
So if you get caught up, it was in Blair, Ohio.
And but we went down there before Jason did. We went down there one time. We were there for a weekend, and Friday night, it was a Friday night. Jason never been there at this time, and it was a nice, happy-go-lucky house. You know what I mean? It was a good feeling. I mean, we were getting stuff, we were getting evidence, and then Saturday in the morning, you can actually feel the house energy just change to pure evil.
Oh,
And
my.
it was bad. That was bad. Scared the bejeebers out of me, and that don't happen much. But
I
you
got
could just
some,
feel the energy just turn from good and happy to real angry and mean.
And
So
when
I
that
got,
happens, you probably should get a drink of Good Start Carnation, or make yourself
yes,
some
very delicious.
Carnation instant breakfast.
Yeah.
I want to thank Carnation for being our
yes, thank you,
sponsor for the
Carnation.
second hour. Thank you,
I got some,
Carnation.
I got some pretty cool evidence, Flood, of actually the house that my wife and I and our son live in now. We moved here back in 2011, and we didn't know, but things were going to get pretty chaotic here. And then the end of 2012, 2013, we actually dealt with a poltergeist here. It was destroying stuff. This was all documented. This was even before I became a paranormal investigator. It's what actually got me into it. So we had a nasty poltergeist here. Long story. We'll have to talk some other time about that. It eats up a lot of time. But
Oh, definitely. No, I hope to connect with all of you outside
yeah,
of this
definitely.
episode.
Oh, absolutely.
but over the last 10 years or whatever, random, and I, like I said, we got cameras, so everything's documented that I'm going to tell you about is like, this house is old. I think it was built in 48. It's like our front door is this real heavy old oak door, just, real heavy and everything. It likes to undeadbolt and swing open by itself. right? A total random. Over the last 10 years, I did probably about 3 or 4 times, different occasions. Like my mom and my wife would be sitting on the couch and you just hear click, door just comes shooting open all by itself on camera. We've had curtains moving by themselves on video, kids' toys getting smacked around. Like it's pretty cool stuff. Nothing's bad here anymore. They just like to play around a little bit, but
it throws you for a loop when it first starts.
Oh yeah,
happening,
it's like I said, everything's documented. If we connect after the show sometime, I'll be more than happy to share some of that with you.
That would be cool. That would be great.
Yeah, likewise, I'm happy to share all of the evidence I collect as well, guys. It's what it's all about for me.
Yeah,
yeah. A couple of things I did want to bring up before I lose track of them. Because we were on the Mothman earlier, and I was trying to make a point just before I forget it again. Everybody freaks out about the Mothman. Everybody has those moments of panic and fear, but nobody points out the most important story in the entire book.
What?
Is that there was one woman who had 2 interactions with the Mothman. And the first one, and I can't remember her name, but this is the one that the Mothman started flying along her car as she was going 60 miles an hour and keeping up, and just kind of looked over at her in broad daylight, driving down the road. She eventually runs off the road, catches her breath. Mothman's gone. She's a total nervous wreck. She's frightened for days. Eventually, she calms down. 5 days after that first incident, she's asleep in her home, and she starts hearing sobbing. And she wakes up, makes her way out over to the window, and looks out on her roof. And the Mothman is perched on the corner of her roof, crying.
Wow. It was crying.
I found that to be one of the most interesting parts of the whole story, but nobody ever touches on it.
Well, why would he be crying?
I have. It's interesting you say that. I recall that story from a documentary or something I saw about not the second part of her interaction, the first one of when she was driving. But I've never heard that part where he was crying. But in my own accounts with other entities, once I changed my which has only been a few years now that I have not been terrified of the dark and ghosts and everything else. Once I changed my perspective, once I started saying, okay, maybe there's something at these places where everybody's like, oh, that's evil. You can't go there. You can't. Everybody's terrified. And I go there and I'm like, oh, I made a new friend, But here's the thing. Most of them just want to be listened to also. Most of them have something, it's kind of like people. You get to the root of the problem. When people are angry or scared or whatever, there's always a reason for it. There's always a basis to that. And so what's interesting that I found with these entities that are scaring people or kids or animals or whatever is they're really sad and alone and disconnected and things like that. There's always another problem. So I can relate to that. Absolutely. Like that's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I'll talk afterwards. Go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say it's very similar to what I ended up experiencing during the 2 days at the Sally house, right? The first one, it was all aggressive to me. I got bitten, I got choked, I got scratched. It was really, really mean to me. But when we left the house on the second day for a few hours, and we sat down and we had this conversation, and we said, we're going to walk back in there completely expelling anything that we know about the narrative that we've been told, the stories that we've been told, the expectations we're supposed to have. Let's check all of that stuff at the door, and let's go in there with fresh eyes and hearts and open minds and really see what is going on here. Because part of me thinks is that there is something there that wants its story told, and it's only been being told in portions or in fabrications.
Well,
we need to go there.
Yeah, we got to go there.
I before Flood and I met before I went to the Sally House myself, that's what I told him. And maybe that's why I interact with these things differently, because I told him I don't, like 90% of the time, I don't know anything about a location I'm drawn to. I don't do research on it. I don't listen to stories. I don't, ahead of time, because I don't want that to affect my opinion in any way or sway any type of messages I might receive. So I don't really have, any type of expectations of any given place. And I think that does kind of allow, maybe if you go in with that mindset, you get different reactions and different messages than maybe other people that are going there for a ghost tour or what,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
But that's just like what you're talking before, what Trish was talking before, how entities want to be known. And I picked that up by going to cemeteries, right? Think about it. All right, you've been laying in that cemetery for over 100 years, okay? And all you go is where you're at, where you're buried. And then all of a sudden you see a bunch of people walk into the cemetery with flashlights and stuff like that. And now that spirit realizes, hey, I can talk to this person. You know what I mean? And of course, and it's happened many a time to where they just come up and they just start talking. And the K2s go up, EVPs keep going. And yeah, so of course. Trish was right about that one.
It's funny, my daughter and I over, it was around Yule. She wanted to go to a cemetery, and there was some, Happy Christmas song that was playing on the radio, and she rolled down all the windows, and I'm like, well, it's like 20 degrees. What are you doing? When we were leaving. And she said, no, I thought, because she's like me as far as spirits go. And she said, I think they like the music. They haven't heard it in a long time.
Yeah, that's
it makes
true.
them happy. So
just you know what? Just like in Gettysburg, day 2 of the battle up there down in the wheat field in the peach orchard, the Irish Brigade, they got their butts whipped pretty bad. You know what I mean? And so one night I went down there and I had a CD from the Chieftains. It's an Irish, group, folk group. And I put it in my car and I turned up the sound to it. Oh my God, it was like a spectacle of orbs everywhere. I mean, they were loving that.
Yeah. Because it has a different energy to it.
Exactly.
Irish music is usually very, very upbeat and lively. Even if it's talking about something negative, they make it's got a lot of energy. So.
So have you ever tried like doing that, like going into a place and playing music, or try to reenact something, say like the 1860s or 50s at the places that you go and investigate?
I haven't tried necessarily like reenacting in period pieces, but I do a lot of music and sound experiments. I'm a musician as well, and tend to tone around a lot with binaural frequencies, sacred tones, things like that, and I try to fit them in through music. But sometimes even playing just a good old-fashioned blues song in a haunted house can have positive results, which is what happened in Sally House.
We were down the Italian club in Charleroi, and we decided to put on Italian music. And they just went both. They were.
We need to get back in there.
I know, the Italian club. And
music raises your vibration in general. So as people, that's why if we sing or dance or play music, it naturally raises your vibration. So I assume in places that are haunted, it has the same effect on the environment, I would think.
Yeah, possibility.
Hey, Flood, I have a question for you. We're going to be doing a show in the next few weeks on the Jersey Devil. Did you ever hear of that?
Oh yeah, that's also on my list for at least the next year and a half. I want to go up to the Pine Barrens.
Do you think it's real? You think it's fiction? Because some people think it's just a legend.
Behind every legend, there's at least a nugget or two of truth.
True.
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to trying to figure it out. I think there's a possibility that we could be dealing with a malnourished or deformed child that was born, and from there, small town secrets just go wild, especially in Pine Barrens where things were severely underdeveloped. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just
That would be
wondered.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a show on it in a few weeks, and then there's
Oh,
also there's another thing that I wanted to see if you heard of. It's a wait a minute. I'm gonna pull. Let me see. To go to my messenger. I'm very bad. The Witches of Wildwood. Did you ever hear
No,
of the
that's a
Witches
new
of
one on me,
Wildwood?
actually.
no, that's new.
Yeah, well, it's not actually new. It's been around for, I'm surprised you don't know about that, Trish.
I know about wilding witches.
The Wilding Witches. Weren't the Wildings on Game of Thrones?
I mean, that's kind of so with witches. There's different. Everybody has their craft, their I guess skill set technically, or whatever. We were talking about that before. There's kitchen witches and green witches and
Kitchen witches.
so it's
I'm
kind
a
of
kitchen witch.
I don't know.
I'm a wizard.
Ditch witch.
I don't classify.
They'll come out and dig a ditch for you.
I guess in folklore, what normal people classify witches as or something. I'm not really sure what.
Speaking of witches,
Follow
if you tell Siri to tell Siri Loomis, I think it is. I don't know. You guys got iPhones?
No.
Oh yeah.
Is it Loomis?
Yes.
Tell Siri, just go, hey Siri, Loomis. See what she does. Go ahead.
Well, I won't do it now, but I will definitely try that after this.
Yeah, do it. It'll be because you're using your phone. Okay. Just
I
do
don't
it when
trust Siri.
well, Siri listens. She listens. Her and Alexa, man. Alexa.
They're
she says-
besties.
Alexa
Yeah.
just doesn't. She says, Alexa, turn on the kitchen light, and she'll say, "You don't have a smart kitchen." See, she doesn't support that. Yeah, she's a little bitch.
So what do you got coming up, Flood? What kind of investigations you got coming up soon?
If it warms up soon enough, hopefully in late February, I'm going to make a return to Edwards Road, which is the one that I mentioned here earlier. We are trying to get, excuse me, we're trying to get legal access to go into the McCain Sanatorium down here just outside of Rayford, which would be a really nice precursor to the first big one of the year. We're doing the overnight stay at Waverly Sanatorium.
Oh, you like
March,
that down there?
March 14th.
That's
Oh, I
good.
can't wait.
Oh man.
But we're also going to double that up, hopefully, if I can work it out with Bobby Mackey's as well.
Oh,
No,
I'd like to
you're
check
in
that place
Kansas too. You're in Kansas.
no, he's in North
North
Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina. Don't you guys got a lot of snow, or is that Virginia?
That was Virginia.
We got a lot of
I lived in
Very well.
Indiana for 5 years. It's going to take a lot more than an inch to scare me like it does these people.
Oh,
Jeez.
tell me about
Those
it. dude.
people on what interstate was that? 90 something.
95, yeah.
95. Man, that would be horrible being stuck on the highway like that all night.
Hey, Flood.
Yeah,
what
I don't
kind
know,
of-
like 4 inches the other day, and people lost their mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I came from upstate New York, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do a little bit
I
better.
don't know. First, when I think of Kansas, I think of the Wizard of Oz, and I just see plains.
Get your
Dust.
ruby slippers.
Yeah.
I don't see.
I just
What?
think of flatlands and a lot
Yeah.
of
That's all I
too much
think of.
beer.
Yeah.
What kind of equipment do you use when you go on an
Oh
investigation?
yes.
Oh, I've got 2 4K full spectrum cameras, 2 4K pretty high quality night vision cameras. I got a couple of random like mini cams that I feed into a DVR, all with night vision capabilities. But I've decided to cut it down to like a total of 6 cameras total, including the mini ones, because it's just too much, man.
Amen.
Well,
And then aside from that, we set up multiple different recording devices, and we also keep recording devices attached to us, Lavelle mics or lavalier mics and directional mics strapped to our shoulders, things like that. Beyond that, the weirder side of things, I have a couple of experiments that I'm not
Don't say it.
I'm just going to have to show you a video demonstration. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. But consider it to be a paranormal game of shuffleboard.
Huh. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's a matter of taking up a flat surface, some dirt from the local area, and scattering it on top of that, and taking some objects that could be directly relatable to the location that you're actually investigating, strategically placing them on the board, and then you monitor it through the whole night to see if they move it through the dirt, so you can see the patterns.
Ooh, that's
I
cool
like
as
that.
hell.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's brought some interesting results.
What I like to use. I'm sorry, Trish. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, when at the Sally House, Flood and his crew they're trying to explain to me all. I'm not familiar with equipment. I'm not technologically advanced in any way as far as that goes. I don't. They're very patient trying to explain to me what some of these things do, and I'm like,
Yeah. So that's why
It's all the same old stuff everybody
That's why
else
I give
uses.
it to Jason. He takes care of that crap, man. But what I like to use, and I think is the best camera out there, trail cams. Okay.
You love that thing.
I love trail cams because all you do is set it for
And forget it.
and forget it. Really.
Yep.
And video trail cams are the best. Now,
I thought about that like a GoPro too, because if you're investigating in place, like you're not gonna miss anything if it's attached to you, you know, like.
I like trail cams. I can put them up and forget about them, buddy, and then I get some good evidence about it. You know,
Lock them, stock them, and walk off from them. Yeah.
exactly.
But I'm saying, like, I attract spirits, so they
So
would
do I.
like, they would be going where you
Me
so they would
too.
be going where you move to, not like staying on a tree.
But then again, for me, with a GoPro or a camera strapped, I couldn't do with it, man. I'd be just like, nah.
Yeah, because how did you see that son bitch on your shoulder?
That's right. On the back, buddy. On the back.
your back, whatever.
I see what you're getting at,
don't
Trish, because
see
I mean
with
that's what
your
I do.
eyes, man.
Strategically placed.
I
You have
mean,
several
I-
strategically placed and a few strapped to the
I'm
people.
really happy that you guys have your own certain way of doing that. I am. But for me, I couldn't do with it. That's just too much stuff on my body, and I would be very claustrophobic on it. That's me.
Oh my
Fair
god, a camera that's like 2 inches by 2 inches make you claustrophobic.
Yeah.
They have them that
jeez.
can go like on your hat or something.
Oh, man.
Strap it to your head like a cyclops.
There you go.
They have them. They have them in glasses now. They have the cameras in glasses.
So, Jenny, when are you going to come on investigation with us?
Oh, never. We've heard this a million times.
No.
Whenever you come up this way.
Whenever.
Come on
Well, in
down
the
camping to
paranormal,
Brown
world, you
Mountain.
gotta travel. You
Oh,
gotta travel.
dude, I'm coming down in October. I know where I'm going. We're going down there to North
I
Carolina.
got you covered.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And yet also going to that also means that you have to wake up a little bit early every day, you know, on the 3 to 4 day trips, because we have to travel back into Asheville for the best barbecue you're ever going to have in your life.
Oh, I'm sold. Let's go right now.
We're going.
Packing my bags.
So, Flood, where
Barbecue
can
and
people hear your
paranormal.
podcast?
Oh my god, it's the 2 best things ever.
You can find the podcast as XV Planis. That's EXVPLANIS. And you can find that pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you go to. And you can follow us on pretty much any social media accounts as well. It's the same name. And that's a link not only to me, but to several members of my crew. So it's a whole troop of us that you can interact with.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks
That's
for coming
cool.
on the show with
Yeah,
us.
thanks, Flood. It was
We
great
had a
talking to
great
you.
time with you.
Yeah,
How
Yeah,
can we
absolutely. No,
get
this
in
was an
contact with
absolute
you?
blast.
We
How
had
can
a,
What was
we
that?
get in contact with you? So we can
Oh,
go to North Carolina.
I will. I'll reach out to you guys after the show. I'm happy to share my number with you guys, and I'll give you the links on how to actually get in touch with the podcast.
So
That'd
a
be cool.
funny thing about the first time, you know, Flood probably thought I was some weirdo reaching out when I just randomly came across them on Facebook, actually, that they were planning to, because of the Sally House. He had put that on his website. And the first time we talked, he called me before they left for their trip just to kind of get the itinerary down or whatever. I was telling him that a place that I don't usually go to, I was sitting in my car and I look in my rearview mirror and there was a Sally, like a Sally Beauty Supply light. This was at night, light right in the middle of my rearview mirror flashing behind me. And I was like, you're not going to believe this. And then in front of me was his name. But next to that, what I didn't say was like a Jersey sub something, which is interesting because obviously Jersey. So.
Well, the other big part of that was when you were skimming around that same parking lot, you ran across the word help as well right after Sally. And something I didn't relate earlier, that how all of this started was I was doing an investigation at Lydia's Bridge here in North Carolina. And when I was reviewing the audio that we got from our Estes session, I caught an EVP that clearly said, help Sally. Ooh. This is before I ever had the thought to go.
And one of the first things when he walked me around the Sally house when I first got to Atchison, and I said, last night before I came to town or anything, one of a name I picked up was Edwards, which is interesting because that's the road by. So I had
also my dad's name. So.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on there. But hey, guys, thank you all so much for having me on. And honestly, I hope y'all will return the favor and come and visit me on XV Planis sometime.
Yeah,
most definitely. Well, you have a great new year.
Yeah, and
we're doing our best. The one thing I can promise is it's going to be weird.
Yeah,
it's already
all
weird.
right, brother.
You take it easy.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye
bye. That was awesome.
This is really
great
interesting.
flood.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. I enjoyed it.
I did too.
Learned a lot of
Me 3.
weird stuff. A lot of weird
You
stuff.
already did 2. You can't be 4 as well.
Look at this. The Fab 4 right here.
Oh, God. We're a disgrace to the Fab 4.
Oh, shut the hell up. God damn.
You two quit fighting.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my
Hey, you know
Lord.
what? If we weren't fighting, then
there'd be a problem.
There'd be a problem.
I appreciate you fixing your mic, Pap. I haven't heard any crinkle crackles.
At least it's not like
my
stomach. At least we don't have that sound effects tonight.
No, I ate before I, like 3 hours before I came on.
What did you have to eat?
Sauerkraut was
no. We had corned beef hash and
corn hash. What the heck is that?
Was you at Eaton Park again?
No,
What is corn hash?
Corned beef hash.
It's beef that's mashed up with little potatoes.
Getting nasty.
It's an Irish thing.
I wouldn't know. I'm doing keto again because I ate like a pig over Christmas.
Corned beef hash is
like
good for you then.
Pounds. Huh?
Corned beef hash is good for you then. That'll work.
I had turkey burger without the bun.
Oh my!
Dude.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
I had sick of ham. I'm gonna make ham salad and I'm gonna make ham and cabbage because I have all this ham left.
Don't forget to throw the potatoes in with that ham and cabbage.
Well, then it won't be
you sound
keto.
like my mother.
It won't be keto then. You can't
it's
do
not
that, Jenny.
keto. I'll have to make a separate.
Oh, come on.
My son's doing steak.
Jenny,
and egg
get the
diet.
carbohydrate-free potatoes.
They don't have.
Yeah, they do. Go to the grocery store and ask.
You're so full of it.
No,
Okay, they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Go
if I
to the
go.
produce section.
They do not have carb-free potatoes. I did make. It's called. Oh shoot! I have such dementia. I swear to God.
Thank God you admit it.
But it's
a kind of bread without the.
Without
made with egg whites and cream of tartar.
Oh God, no!
No wait, egg whites.
Isn't that rice bread? That rice bread crap. It's like hard as a brick.
Cloud bread. It's called cloud. It's not. It's made with egg whites and not cream of tartar. It's another one.
I got some bagels that were gluten free and they're hard as a rock the other day.
What the hell?
You can start using them as a hammer.
Wait, what's the white stuff that's not baking powder and it's not cream of tartar?
Baking soda.
Oh, you really narrowed it down. What's the white
soda?
stuff? It's not this or that.
What?
You know,
Not baking soda, not baking powder, not cream of tartar. It's the other one. It's white and it's like it looks like it's in a box. Come on.
Armor ham and bacon soda.
Cream of
no. You can use it to make gravy.
Did you say Arm & Hammer, Sean?
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
it
What is
Yeah, you're
that?
gonna bake with Arm & Hammer.
You
I'm
know
not
what I'm
eating
talking
anything
about,
from you
Trish.
ever
What is it
again.
called?
cornstarch.
Cornstarch. You put a little
Cornstarch,
bit
okay.
of like a quarter teaspoon, and it's like
Oh hell,
in a-
that thing gets you fat.
If
Just
Sean
a
ever
little-
gives any
a
of you
quarter
food, do not eat it.
teaspoon.
He bakes with Arm & Hammer.
There you go.
No, Arm & Hammer baking soda will blow you up like
Good.
crazy. That's what you're supposed to take when you have
Add a little bit of
stomachache.
vinegar. There you go.
Apple cider vinegar is very good for you.
Baking soda and vinegar, that'll clean you out.
The only thing good for apple cider vinegar is snaps
Yeah,
in them little
Gene,
gnats.
you're right. Cornstarch. It's just a quarter teaspoon and egg whites, and you whip it up till it gets to a firm peak, and then you put it in the oven. It's like really good. Why are you laughing?
A firm peak.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, little
Oh,
twirl.
Gosh, our
Jeez.
listeners, they're probably like, what are they? Are they doing laundry? Are they talking about cocaine? Wait,
Oh my god, they love us. They
No,
love us.
nobody knows.
Wow,
that
this
works.
conversation just went all over the ball field.
Oh, my back's killing me.
Well,
But
if you
keto does
just
work.
tuned in and you're like, I don't know, the white powder, the
Firm peak is not.
Arm & Hammer.
Oh my.
Oh my
I
god.
got my Fitbit. My son got me for Christmas. My kids.
Do you use it?
Aw.
a
Yeah,
lot?
I got like almost 10,000 steps in today because I'm taking down my Christmas stuff.
Well, just standing there shaking it doesn't count.
No, up and down the stairs, taking down. I'm leaving my Christmas tree up. I
You
think
know-
I'll like.
You
leave
know
it
what? You can put it on Ava and have her run.
Up. Yeah, poor Ava. She's not feeling too good lately.
No?
She got a hot spot. You ever hear
Uh-oh.
of that? A hot
Oh
spot.
yeah.
Never heard of
It
it.
happens.
They from them laying on there, and she can't go outside and play in the yard because when I let her out, it's all mud, and it'll take me an hour to clean her feet. So we've been playing on the concrete, so her feet are getting sore.
Aw.
Mm.
We don't have any snow, Trish.
Maryland
supposed to
does,
go-
and they're south of us.
We have snow.
We
I'm
don't.
I'm gonna bring my dog up so she.
Yeah,
can
Maryland
play.
just got hit with what, like a blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Everyone
supposed
looks
to
for-
Thursday.
Yeah, we
All
got
right.
a blizzard.
About
What
time.
Kansas considers a blizzard. We got that on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yeah, because all you do is get tornadoes like on the
Yeah.
Which is odd. We had tornadoes
Flying houses.
a few
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks
Toto
ago,
running
which is
around.
very rare for this time of year actually. But I have seen it go from like 70, 80 degrees to a thunderstorm like 50s, 60s, and then
That's us.
snow.
We
Yes.
see it. We see it
Trish,
every
Trish,
night.
you're gonna have to
Southwestern
send me
PA,
some
like that.
pictures because all I see is planes. I see houses far apart. I don't see. I just
I've
see
seen
the Wizard of Oz.
cornfields.
And Annie
Cornfields.
Mae. What's her name?
Children of the
Annie.
Corn.
What's her name? What's Dorothy's aunt?
Annie Mae.
Annie
Annie
Mae?
Mae, yeah.
And she's going up in the house.
Oh no, it wasn't Annie Mae. It was Annie M.
Annie
And-
M. Annie
yeah.
M. Annie M. Annie M. Where are
So,
you?
Jason, when we go to the Sally house, we'll be looking for flying houses, okay?
Yeah.
As long
What's
as they're
this-
not ducks.
That's our luck. We'll go down there and it'll be the one day of the whole year there ends up being a friggin' tornado
Yeah.
and just wipe us out.
Well,
I know.
Careful.
See
you'll
Jason
manifest it.
flying through the air with his equipment.
13 and a half hours to the Sally house from here, according to Augie.
13 and a
Augie,
half.
you go. He's
Yeah,
not
that ain't
allowed.
bad.
That's a long, long drive.
Don't let
Oh,
Roy go with you.
You
I
know
feel
what?
Like it was
That ain't
a
bad.
lot. I don't know. I feel like it was a lot further from New York to here than.
So you went down. When did you do this, Trish? When did you go to the Sally house?
on December 20th.
December. Was it?
It
What
was.
Did you go for like a vacation and just decided to go there, or what?
Oh no, it's not very far from me. So
Kansas?
Oh my
No, the
goodness.
Sally
Oh.
house is like an hour from me.
Jenny,
really?
you awake?
No, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking Kansas is in the. I don't know where the hell go. I'm thinking something else.
Oh my.
So,
Oh,
Jason,
my.
what we could do is get like a cheap air flight round trip and then go out to the airport and Trish will pick us up, and she'll be our taxi driver for the weekend.
Kansas City.
Yeah, just Kansas. And see all them planes and all them tornadoes and stuff. I bet you it's pretty cool living through one of them, huh?
A tornado.
Living through one.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, I've seen.
I
a
would
lot of
experience.
tornadoes.
You want to experiment? You want to experience a tornado?
I don't know if I'd be wanting to experience that. Maybe from my couch.
Maybe you
watching
should go
on
with one of
TV to
those.
see how
What do
Mother
they call
Nature
those?
functions.
Those tornado people.
chasers.
Storm
Yeah.
chasers.
It's
Storm
so
chaser.
once you see it's crazy to see the power in these storms. You know, when you go to a place and you see a splinter go through a tree, or you know, just the destruction
I didn't want to go through that.
that they cause is crazy. So they level towns, and you know.
The closest thing I ever seen was water spouts in North Carolina. That was
I
interesting.
used to see water spouts a lot off of Lake Erie when I lived in Buffalo.
No, I remember running from a tornado, and that was at Kennywood Park when the tornado went.
I remember that.
I remember.
I was there.
I remember that.
I remember getting the heck out of that park, and I'm glad
Thank
we
God
did.
you made it, Jenny.
We
I
did.
know
It
we
was
were
right
going faster.
behind us. It took out the whole whip and everything.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, how many people died? 3.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was
There was that other one that
Trafford
hit.
Day.
It hit what was it, South Side or Mount Oliver or
Mount
something like that?
Washington. Mount
Mount
Washington.
Washington. That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it,
that one
Mount
wiped out a
Washington.
bunch of crap up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want no tornado.
So we got
I'm right with
tornadoes,
you,
and now we got
Trish. I don't want
meteors
one.
hitting around the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
area. Like
Pretty
this
soon the
is
alien
amazing.
mothership's gonna land in my
Yeah, it's
backyard.
gonna be like Independence
Which
Day
is
here.
But
funny.
when-
I kept hearing the music from Armageddon the other day, and I was
Right.
like, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Why do I keep thinking of Armageddon?
Well, you watch, Trish. It's gonna hit you next.
Well, no, but this was before that came where you all are at.
I
so-
know it. Well, there had to be more. It just couldn't have been Pittsburgh. They're still out there now. There's
Oh,
like
there's
meteor
been,
shot.
during the entire this summer and the
Christmas,
last
too.
months of 2021, when we talked about all the activity of UFOs and stuff in the Kansas City area, there were also tons of like comet and asteroid sightings that people had said. So there's only like, I don't know, 3 major cities or something in Kansas, and the rest is just like flatland. And I mean, we've got the plains and stuff. The people are very spread out. So if you saw something in the middle of, nowhere in the plains, most people probably wouldn't even say anything to anybody. They'd just be
Really?
like, yeah, like an old
Damn.
cattle farmer or something. They're not going to go tell their neighbor that.
Yeah, so you guys are spread
planted
out though.
in the
So I
backyard.
do have that good visual that you are spread out.
Yes.
It's not
yeah.
like
There's-
where
it's
I
all-
live. There's a house down the street.
It's a huge state, but there's the population.
You have developments or with housing plans. I don't know. I'm thinking it's like you're living far. Like there's like like you see in the old West that the houses are so spread
Western
out.
Kansas is like that. There's you can go 100 miles and just see tumbleweeds and
No,
nothing.
that'd
Yeah.
be so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I
want
want to move to Montana and live on the Yellowstone
wants to
Dutton
be-
Ranch.
She wants to have a
Find me a
cowboy.
cowboy. So if there's
Wow.
any cowboys out there, look me up on Facebook.
Cowboys in Kansas.
Cowboy. I'll take any cowboy. No, I don't mean it like that.
Whoa!
Oh, no, I mean like I like.
man.
Oh,
Shut the heck
jeez,
up.
Jenny.
You know what I mean. It doesn't have to be in.
Hey, Jason,
Montana.
let's wear cowboy hats. next
No, it doesn't have to be Montana. It can be in Kansas. Kansas. Where else? Colorado.
So, have you seen the movie Cowboys and Aliens?
No. What does that have to watch? Oh, yes, I did.
week. Oh, look
Oh.
at her.
Oh my god, that was
She's
the
like, wait,
stupidest
Cowboys?
movie I ever
I
saw.
haven't seen it, but I've
It's
heard of the
stupid.
title.
It was stupid. Like, why would they do that? And put the cowboys, the aliens come down in cowboy time. What was it,
Because,
1800s? This
so-
is stupid.
Fun fact: one of, and I don't know.
I
where
want
the
some
source-
bourbon too. Sorry. I was
Well,
just-
3.
But there's an account of a UFO landing in the 1800s sometime.
yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
believe it was like Nebraska or maybe northwestern.
No, you're right.
Kansas.
I
Because
read
they
that.
all had it in their journal. All these like men on a cattle drive or something had the same.
So, well, you know
account
what,
board.
Trish? The aliens like to mutilate cattle. So that
Oh,
makes
cowboys,
sense.
Walk the
cattle.
ranch.
Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. They're probably, on the
It's
X
a
Files.
And where do you think Superman came from Kansas?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was into crystals too because
the
he
only
came.
thing I know about Kansas is their basketball team. You know, Kansas
Oh,
Jayhawks.
I just think of the Witch of the West,
Um, no, the basketball
Dorothy.
team. Dorothy. Who's Toto? Oh, Ava can be Toto.
What's he do? The ruby slippers. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. I'm going to sleep right now.
All
Okay.
right, it's the witching hour.
Well, so Sean, what's your show about?
I'm going to bring up the meteor
There you go.
situation and do
You
a
should
couple.
see if somebody actually saw. Maybe somebody saw something and they can be on the show. Like, say, listen.
That would be pretty cool. But the meteor, and then I'm going to tell a couple ghost stories.
What kind of? Oh, are these like long stories? Like Once Upon a Time?
No.
Oh.
These are the ones on investigations.
Oh, I thought maybe like a ghost story because I would
Which
put
ones
my
you telling,
headphones
Sean?
on, go to sleep.
Definitely the one. Definitely the one that we encountered.
The duck one.
The duck one. The duck.
All I see is this thing walking with his feet like this.
Well, you need to come and experience it firsthand.
Yes, Dan.
No, I
Yes.
told you. Sean, last time I did that was when we went on investigation with you and Faith. Were you
Right.
there?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, you
Hey,
didn't go
Cookie.
there. Okay, Faith with Faith. And I piggybacked on me. When I
Well,
come home, I got so sick with H1N1, and then they took a picture and they could see the orb on the picture. Huge, it was still on me. I keep hitting the stupid thing. Get out of my way.
You haven't been on an investigation with me and Jason. It's a different
All right.
story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll even let you sit in front of the monitor and look for ghosts.
Well, come up this way because I'm looking.
We're
for
not that
anything.
far from you, Jenny.
We're
Well,
not.
you seem. I thought you lived downtown.
No, I live in Pittsburgh.
I'm in,
Yeah, you live in
I live in
Pittsburgh.
Dormont.
I'm like
I'm about.
a half an hour away.
Where are
I'm
you
about-
at? Jason?
Monongahela.
Oh, you're in Monongahela. I got lost out there.
Monongahela.
I took my kids there
Monongahela.
because I took my kids on an
Jenny, could
all-star
you say it
game
again
and
for me,
got
please?
lost.
Where am I at? Where am I from? Could you say it again?
Mon City.
Monongahela.
Monongahela.
No, Mon City. I won't
Mon
say that
City.
one. Mon City.
Seriously, I took my kids to an all-star game and got lost. It's horrible. They'll
Wow,
always
GPS
remember
is
that.
on phones and everything.
Yeah,
else.
well,
Oh,
I
my
take the
God.
GPS and it takes me the wrong way all the time.
You gotta
It's
take
like
the
it's a
GPS
joke.
to get out your front door too, huh?
I do.
I pretty much do too. It's crazy. I don't.
The GPS takes me the wrong way, Trish. I can't help it. It takes me the
Yeah.
long way around something.
Yep.
You know you can make different selections on the map before you hit kick
No, I'm
directions.
not. I get lost so many. I get lost down the street. I do.
But you
I
know,
got
I
nothing
have a theory
left in
on
my
this
neighborhood.
because since, like I was telling you all before, since I moved to the city, you know, I used to live out in the country, and I didn't have that problem because I think my internal GPS worked better or something. Now that I've been in the city, it's like too much interference with my natural directional abilities or something. I get lost very.
It's all that
Okay.
EMF.
I'm serious. It has something to do with it because
Maybe it's the
when
5G.
I live in the country or like in the woods, you know, I grew up in the mountains. I didn't have that problem. I could intuitively find my way anywhere. But now, no.
If I listened to myself, I'd end up.
All I know is that we are
A
going to
river.
go to North Carolina this year.
Okay, you do
Yes.
that.
Oh,
Take
we
some
will.
video.
Beautiful down there too. I used to
Oh,
live in Georgia, so
I love North Carolina. I go down every year to go prospecting gold. That's what I do.
There you go.
I do. It's beautiful.
I don't see
And
any
the people-
bling around your neck. Where's it at?
I'm not into that. It's in my face. It's in my
It's your face.
safe.
You got
Safe.
some grills. You got some grills going
You
on.
got some gold
Say.
teeth.
Oh,
There
no.
you go.
But yeah, so it's North Carolina, and the people down there are so nice.
Oh, they are. They
They
are.
are really, really nice people down there.
This is Southern people are.
Hot Southern hospitality.
Yes,
Yes.
it is true.
but
Sweet tea.
sometimes you can't tell because I didn't realize until I had lived in Georgia for a while. Some of the people, like when they say, "Oh, bless your heart, honey,"
Bless your
You're in
heart,
trouble.
honey.
I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet." But some of them were actually calling me dumb. Like,
They're saying,
Yeah.
"Bless your heart, sweet. I want to run you over with my car."
Yeah, I was on a job in North Carolina just like 2 months ago or whatever, and They ended up having like a catered lunch and invited me in to join them and everything.
on
And I'm
in,
like,
have some
wow, what's going
Southern
on?
food.
These folks are so nice down
They are
here.
nice. They are really,
You know, like, hey, what do you
really
need? You
nice
need
people.
anything? Let me know. You need more to drink? What? I'm like,
Yep.
wow.
The only thing I have a problem with it, they're slow. Okay, they are real slow down there.
They take
They-
their time because
they-
they're busy making
Well,
up
coming from you,
homemade
Pap, I don't know
food.
if you can make that argument. Just saying.
Shut. You're lucky I like you. We'll just put it like
Oh
that.
no.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. Good night, Gracie. It's 11:06.
Oh, Jenny muted herself.
I
Jenny, there you go.
Jersey Devil on. I hope so.
Is that next week?